I used to think buying beautiful things would make me more complete. It was a bit of validation that I was part of the crowd who had achieved success. I used to live in Hong Kong, where almost every other person was carrying some form of luxury to prove their status. A Chanel, Hermes, or Louis Vuitton piece wasn't just an accessory. It was really a symbol that you mattered. And I fell for it. I really believed that these things would tell the world, and maybe even convince myself, that I was enough. But with time and distance from that environment, especially now that I live surrounded by nature and quiet, I realized that the most surprising thing happened. My love for luxury actually led me to crave a life of simplicity. And today I want to share what luxury taught me about living with less and why that shift has changed everything for me. Tell me in the comments below, what's one luxury item you still love and use every day, and why? So my first real luxury piece was the Chanel Jumbo, and it was unforgettable. It was more than just a bag. It really felt like a badge of success, and I had earned it. You see, luxury items have this magic about them. The smell of the leather, the weight of the hardware, the crispness of the packaging. And so I started adding to my collection. More bags, more jewelry, the thrill of unboxing, styling, even just seeing them on display. It gave me this hit of excitement. But that excitement faded fast. I always wanted the next new thing. You know, a different color, a different edition, a seasonal piece that was only released at that time of the year. And I didn't want to be seen wearing the same thing over and over again, so I always felt that I needed to update constantly. And I kept thinking that maybe the next bag, the next bracelet, would finally be the one that made me feel happy and complete. But you know what? It never did. Eventually, I began to feel that heaviness around my collection. Not just the physical space it took, but evidently the financial pressure and emotional guilt. There are bags that I have not touched for months and months and even years. Pieces of jewelry just tucked away in a safe or in a drawer or a jewelry box that I have completely forgotten the joy it used to bring to me. And in reality, it actually became more of a reminder of the amount of money I had spent buying these items and not really putting them to good use. So instead of feeling proud, I feel embarrassed. I feel like I've wasted my resources. It was like I had curated this external lifestyle that I wanted people to see. But on the inside, I felt overwhelmed, I felt guilty, I felt stressed, and just feeling like I wasted a lot of money and time on something that has not really given me that much value. And in the back of my mind, I would tell myself, well, I can resell this, it's not a total loss. But we all know we're actually losing money every time we buy and sell. So it really wasn't an investment. It was just more of a spending habit marked as taste or a future investment that would pay off for itself. Now, mind you, there are bags that have appreciated in value, and we all know what those brands are. But for the most part, especially those special edition ones or those seasonal items, they're not constantly in demand, and therefore the investment value of those items tend to be much lower, and they do depreciate over time. And of course, you have to really take care of your items to make sure that they're pristine condition so that you can get the most return out of them. But that also means sacrificing you enjoying those bags and using them and not having to worry about getting them slightly scratched or damaged. So at the end of the day, you can't have your cake and eat it too. It's either or. And for me, that just became more and more of a overwhelming burden. And so that's when I realized that something had to change. And I didn't want my closet to define who I was, and take back that control and define what luxury means to me in my own terms. So in reality, there was no big turning point. It was more of just a quiet realization that I wanted something different. Just less noise, less pressure, being comfortable with who I was, not having to live according to what other people saw or felt, just really being true to my own identity. And I started to ask myself, do I really need this? Do I use this? And does it reflect who I am today? Or am I just holding on to it because of what it used to mean to me? And many of you have asked, are you interested in selling your pieces? Are you going to let them go? Because there is a huge demand for these bags. And the truth is, I have these bags and I really appreciate them for what they mean and what they were for me. And I do see them as an investment. I do see them as something I can pass on to my children. So I am holding on to these bags. I will, use them from time to time when the occasion presents itself, but I will just be really storing them and taking care of them because these bags were a piece of me that I was in the past, and I don't really want to let that go. But now, having fewer choices actually makes it much more liberating, much easier. I don't need to constantly think, do I need another color or do I need another print, another type of bag? I just throw on those bags that have proven themselves, that are, casual but functional, and won't be affected by weather or damage. And that really brings me a lot of peace of mind. And now I can really just enjoy those luxury pieces that I have for what it's worth. Right now I have a few things, and you know what? I'm content and happy with what I have, and I don't want more. So now I define luxury in a different way. It's not really about exclusivity, whether I have this versus someone else. It's just more about being present, being happy with what I have. That to me is really what luxury is now. Tell me what you think luxury is to you. For me, luxury means being able to do whatever I want. Being able to wake up in the morning and take the time to have a cup of tea, have a relaxing breakfast, organize my closet with just the basics that I need every day. Just makes me feel really happy with what I have. And don't get me wrong, I still have that craving to buy beautiful things. But now I do it with more intentionality, meaning I really try to get to the bottom of it, of why do I want this item? And what purpose is this item going to bring for me? And I also try to project forward and think about, how is this item going to serve me in the future? Instead of focusing on what it can do for me right now in the present moment, how about what it can do for me or for my family in the next 3 to 5 to 10 years? This is something I can pass down, something that can be used and enjoyed for a long, long time. So people often confuse, minimalism meaning, just strip down to the basics. I think minimalism is actually very entrenched with luxury. You don't need so many designer handbags to have that luxury. You really just need that 1 or 2 pieces that are the statement pieces. And that in itself is something to cherish and enjoy and to use and reuse and pass down. And that's what I'm hoping to strive towards. So in conclusion, if I could talk to my younger self, I would say luxury isn't wrong, but chasing it blindly, that really will mess up your identity. Every piece that I've bought has taught me something about temptation, desire, value, and I see these as growing pains, lessons learned, and I don't regret having gone through that experience because I know that I've outgrown the version of me who needed it all, and now I can really just pinpoint what I want and how it will serve me, and really having that intention of knowing why I'm getting this item and not being pressured into it because social media or some celebrity has it and therefore I want it. So this journey for me isn't about saying goodbye to beautiful designs and designer handbags and luxurious brands. It's just really more about redefining what these things mean to me now. And I hope this video speaks to you if you've ever felt like your collection was growing, but your joy was shrinking. Tell me in the comments below, what's one luxury item you still love and use every day, and why? And has your relationship with luxury changed over time? And if you're also walking on this path toward a more intentional and peaceful life, I'd love for you to subscribe and stay with me. Less can be more when it's truly yours. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye now.